but today we're going to be talking about this recent discovery that could possibly lead to a celiac vaccine and people's feelings on that. A recent study done in the Journal of Science in Transitional Medicine has isolated 3 peptides that trigger the immune response to gluten in celiacs. This is what a little bit, excuse me, I'm going to read part of the study. It says, according to a recently published study in the journal Science in Transitional Medicine, researchers in the United Kingdom and Australia studied 200 celiac patients in their respective countries by asking them to eat bread, rye muffins, or boiled barley. Oh, that just makes me hurt even thinking about it. And then tested their blood 6 days later to measure their immune response to thousands of peptides or differing gluten fragments. The scientists found that while no fewer than 90 peptides caused immune responses, 3 were particularly severe. Just a quote from one of the researchers, it says, these 3 components account for the majority of the immune response to gluten that is observed in people with celiac disease. Professor Bob Anderson, head of the Walter and Eliza Hall Institute of Medical Research in Melbourne, Australia, told the BBC. Anderson is conducting trials and results should be available soon. In this immunotherapy trial, celiac patients are slowly being introduced to tiny amounts of 3 toxic peptides in an effort to become acclimatized. I will link the abstract to this article so you can go in and read that to find out more. But so basically the study is leading people to believe, researchers to believe that they can find a vaccine, or I don't know if it would be considered a cure for celiac disease. I don't honestly know if it's something that you would have to, if it'd be like a shot, if it'd be a pill, if you'd have to take it daily, if you'd have to, take it, however often, what that would be like. I know I was recently at the GIG conference, and one of the speakers, Dr. Tom O'Brien, talked about kind of 3 different pills that are being developed on the market, that could possibly, nothing that he talked about in particular was something that could prevent a gluten reaction, but it's something you could take in case of accidental gluten exposure. So if you got cross-contamination, but you couldn't, take the pill and then go have a pizza, that's not going to fly. And I'll talk about kind of that research in another vlog at a later time. But obviously for now the only medication for celiac disease is a 100% commitment to a gluten-free diet. There's nothing else on the market. No medication, nothing that can stop the villus atrophy when celiacs eat gluten other than not eating it. Also, I'm just kind of curious out there, if this were available to you, is this something you would take? I honestly don't know if someone said to me, you can have this shot and eat gluten again, if I would. And I know that probably sounds crazy, but I think we live, and I don't want to say in fear, because fear is not the correct word, but we live in this world where we know what we can and can't eat, and our lifestyles are completely affected by our diet. And then for someone to say, here's a shot, you can go about your merry way, I think it would be definitely a transition for me. Like, I don't think I could have a shot and go and eat again a pizza. Like, that would be mentally and emotionally really hard for me to kind of work through. But I don't know, I'm not a teenager, I'm not trying to fit in high school or college, and maybe that's something that younger people who are going through this kind of different lifestyle, if they really want to fit in, maybe they would be all over that. I mean, maybe I'm in the minority here and people would be all over some kind of vaccine. My friend Susan Cohen, who just hit 10 years being gluten-free, when she got diagnosed, all oats were off limits, and she won't even eat certified gluten-free oats. And, I totally respect that, because when you have a mindset, when you have a complete life change, it's hard to come back to a baseline. And I don't know. So I'm really curious, if this were on the market, what would you do? Would you take this? Would you be skeptical? Would you do it and eat a little bit? So if you get a second, leave a comment, because I'm really, really curious to see what people are feeling about this. I think it's exciting news, don't get me wrong. I'm just curious how the community is going to respond on individual levels. So hope everyone's doing well out there. And as always, it's from have not to having gluten-free dining. Thanks for watching.